For this week's assignment, we were asked to visit an art gallery or an art exhibit and study one piece of work by an artist that we weren't familiar with. So when I walked into the Sintzer Museum on campus, the first thing I did was ask the receptionist if there was any interesting artwork that had been added recently. She mentioned a few pieces and then said that there was one done by Norman Rockwell. I didn't know anything about Norman Rockwell at the time, but the name did ring a bell, so I figured I would start there. And since I will be describing how I felt about the painting prior and post to researching Norman Rockwell, I think I will give you guys a look at it for yourself so that you have an idea of what I'm talking about and the description makes logical sense. Now that you have taken a look at the painting for yourself, I will read my description of the painting as I saw it for the first time in the museum. The first thing that I noticed was that the girl was trying to imitate the woman in the poster. She was dressing just like her, and she even went as far as to stand in the same position. Now, what this immediately made me think of was Americans' obsession with vanity. Even the poster that the woman is in, says the word vanity on it. Now, this makes me believe that this was either the front page of a magazine, because I know that there's a Vanity Fair magazine, or maybe just an advertisement that was on the street, because it looks rather torn. So maybe the girl took it down as she was walking by and saw it, because she admired the woman so much. But the point is, there's an emphasis placed on how we look, and what people think of us because of it. This little girl very much wants to be like this woman. I also believe from the way that the girl was dressed and the clothes that she was putting on to try to imitate the woman that she's of lower economic status. Her hat had a very cheap feather stuffed in it, not nearly as nice as the feather in the woman's hat. Also, the socks that the girl was wearing was rather torn, suggesting that her clothes were old and maybe hand-me-downs. So maybe the girl not only was trying to look nicer, but also rise up in society. And to her, that was only through looking better and looking just like the woman on the poster. After I studied the painting firsthand, I went home and researched the artist. I learned a lot about Norman Rockwell, and that he was a painter for the Saturday Evening Post, doing the cover art for the magazine. He did this for over 4 decades, and oftentimes this involved depicting the average American, or American culture. Now, looking back at my description of the painting, I think what I said was very accurate. Norman Rockwell was clearly trying to show the emphasis that American culture puts on vanity. Even this little girl understood how important it was to look beautiful and to look just like this woman that's depicted in the poster. She knows, when I say she, I mean the little girl, that other people are going to be judging her on the way that she looks. And she doesn't want people to see the lower economic status that she comes from, as can be shown by the tears in the socks and the other issues with her clothing attire. Now, I'm not saying this is what people should do, but it's the fact that we often judge people very quickly on the way they look. And this poor little girl wants people to think that she is of upper economic status and is a better person based on how she looks. So she will do anything she can to look just like the woman in the poster. And I think Norman Rockwell was trying to show that oftentimes we put too much work and too much time into trying to look perfect, when it's not going to really change the person that we are.